Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. It's your host, Street Urchin, the ENTP prince of YouTube. If you're on my channel, I'd like to assume it's because you're sick and tired of the same useless, incorrect, or utterly god-awful MBTI content flooding YouTube or the internet in general these days. Whether it's Frank James and his monotone skits, or random Reddit threads about how INFJs are super empaths. Generally, I'm not someone that cares much about the content that other creators put out. After 10 years of listening to the vapid wailings of amateur typists, it's mostly congealed into something that's more closely related to white noise than frustrating dogma, and I learned to simply let these things go. And if people want more pragmatic and correct information regarding MBTI, they can just stop by my channel or Discord. Then this happened.
No, I'm not considering. I'm confused on why so many people in the community think I'm a TE Dom.
That was a clip from Melissa Talks discussing her status as either ENTP or ENTJ. Apparently some people in the community have disagreed with her diagnosis of ENTP.
Yes, I understand. I say my hot takes, but I regret them later, or I feel bad that I've hurt certain people's feelings later.
I wonder why. Now, far be it for me to question someone's identity, especially this day and age. Life sucks, everyone's miserable, and some people are just trying to find that small piece of validation that they can rest their weary heads on. As you can imagine, some people have found their nirvana in MBTI and claiming to be types that they clearly are not. I call them the pretenders.
There are pretenders among us.
Many of them are INFPs and ENFPs who generally have a natural talent for acting.
We're always right with a smile. Yeah, I'm really good at that. It's called acting.
Extroverted intuition and introverted feeling allows them to empathize with other people and emulate many of the patterns in behavior. This can be a very valuable skill if you have an accurate analysis of someone's MBTI type. If you want to emulate an ESTJ, watch Raymond Reddington from The Blacklist. If you want to be an ISTP, you watch Riddick. And if you want to be an ENTJ, you watch Mads Mikkelsen's performance in Hannibal.
I'm afraid I must ask for your bag.
What?
Your bag. Please, hand it over. I'd rather not take it from you.
I love that man. However, if your main source of information is personality database, Facebook groups, or you're just plain f***ing wrong, then you're going to appear as a type you weren't aiming for.
I don't know if y'all didn't watch my old content. I am very annoying.
Until I acquire further information, I believed this is what happened to Melissa. I don't know her personally, but her preference for introverted feeling was on full display that particular morning, and will undoubtedly damage her reputation as an ENTP. If anyone still had concerns on the matter, I never did. Although I find the irritation particularly annoying when it involves ENTP pretenders, I am a benevolent instructor of practical MBTI, and will simply state that this wasn't Melissa's fault. She fell prey to the same thing that 90% of the community falls prey to, which is not knowing that an actual MBTI website exists. If you are an aspiring MBTI enthusiast, this is the place you should start. Specifically the webpage that provides all 8 cognitive function definitions. And you don't have to read through some demented blogger's 3-page essay on what introverted intuition is. Definitely save you some time. They also offer programs on MBTI for a scant $3,000. But why do that when you can just watch my videos? Maybe even subscribe to my Patreon for exclusive educational content. Now that I've shilled for my channel, we can move on to what's really important. What type is Melissa?
Tell me an INTJ or ENTJ who wastes time repeating themselves.
Until I conduct an official investigation, all I can do is speculate based on her behavior during a more candid live stream event. The defensiveness over the topic lets me know her level of attachment to the title of ENTP. Her willingness to ban those with disagreements informs me of how little experience she has with arguing. Lastly, the labeling of anyone calling her something other than ENTP as little more than trolls on the internet shows me how concerned she is with lost reputation. These are just a few of the stereotypical monikers of strong preference to introverted feeling. I'm inclined to be generous and take into account her interest in MBTI, Enneagram, and of course astrology.
For the record, I'm an Aries. I don't know how much y'all are. Oh my god.
She said the thing. she said it.
I like my
credibility has been lost, ladies and gentlemen.
As clues for her preference for the abstract, which we know of to be the realm of extroverted intuition. That last bit being iffy, as I've known older censors to enjoy astrology, but won't take it any further than the daily fortune sections. I'm sure it's obvious to most that Melissa is not an ENTP. One clue being that her background is always so nice and neat. Perhaps some of you remember the background I had, and after my assistant told me I should actually clean my room, I decided that simply removing the background altogether was easier on my sanity. Can always trust that an ENTP will find a way around honest work, but we should be able to consider a personality type from across the street. ENFP. Champions of the people. Martyrs of the family. ENFPs are directed by their instinct, their moral judgments, their heart. Melissa obviously speaks from a place place of personal feelings and opinions.
This is not an easy community to stay in.
Backed up by whatever information she found pleasant on the internet. She consistently went on rants for the time that I watched, frequently repeated herself, even forgetting something she had just said minutes before.
What was the last thing I said?
Leading to a number of contradictions. This is indicative of a weak preference for introverted sensing. Whether it's in the 4th position or lower should be up for debate. The information she regurgitates is what I believe to be a compilation derived from most of the internet garbage I've read over the past 10 years. But she does seem rather confident in it, lending to a potential 3rd position extroverted thinking, as well as her appeal to authority with the comment of,
That creator, no one, at least from my understanding, every person I talk to, no one respects that creator, so I don't respect.
any ENTP worth their salt knows when they're using logical fallacies. But an ENFP could and will make those mistakes during an argument. Now that I make money talking about practical MBTI, I can now technically say that it is my professional opinion that Melissa presented herself as an ENFP personality type.
Going around telling people you know who I am blows my mind, and it literally concerns me on your intellect.
Pending further information, possibly a private one-on-one session that could provide further context. However, there is still one potential option, INFP. As I'm sure you know by now, ENFPs and INFPs can be remarkably similar in thought process. It's all about feelings and instincts, abstract and imagination. But the INFP comes with a prerequisite, high levels of neuroticism.
And when it's coming from 18-year-olds, I think it's hilarious. Check yourself.
As I've mentioned, I don't know Melissa personally, and I've watched maybe a handful of her videos along with the live stream. But for many sections of the stream, it seemed like she was going to have a breakdown. Was this her inner workings slipping through the cracks to reveal anxiety, self-doubt, depression? She doesn't seem the type to be perpetually concerned with what other people think of her.
You're going to stereotype university majors. I'm going to think you're an idiot.
Especially with that comment about her charging people for her time, which, by the way, I charge nothing for you talking to me in the Discord, whether it's about MBTI or not. And I do typings for $20 and at least 1 hour of your time. They usually go on for longer because I want you to understand why you are the type that you are. Anyhow, outside of the near breakdowns, I'm really hesitant to give her an INFP diagnosis. She seems too firm on her extroverted thinking, whereas an INFP is more likely to avoid logical conflict altogether. But realistically, who knows? She was in a bit more intense of a situation, a public live stream with at least half of them being detractors that are gonna pick apart everything that comes out of her mouth, guaranteed to have her work dissected for the next couple of weeks. So it stands to reason that she may not have been behaving quite like herself. She may even reveal herself to be a censor that just likes the attention.
Check yourself.
I sincerely doubt she'll change her mind on the type, and I certainly won't find out unless we actually have a talk. The only way you can change the mind of an ENFP or an INFP is if you either have official qualifications that cost lots of money, you are well renowned and popular with the community, or they just really like you. After this video, I figure we can probably cross the last one off the list. Of course, if she happens to watch this video, she is absolutely invited to come to the Discord and talk about MBTI. I figure it could be fun to get yelled at by a YouTube personality.
I'm going to think you're an idiot.
In summary, my initial diagnosis is ENFP. She seemed too ranty and absent-minded to be an INFP. Nothing confirmed yet, but if you have an idea of her personality, I'd love to read about it in the comments. I once talked to my friend Cal about it, and he got the impression that she was an ESFJ or ESTJ. Why not? Who knows? If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to like and subscribe. I'm usually lurking around the Discord if you feel like chatting, and as always, I'll see you next time. Bye!
Check yourself.